But now, for a little bit of light relief, we're going to go to a thing which we like to call the world's gone mad. Yes, mon Dieu, the world truly has gone mad, at least for French President Emmanuel Macron, who found he couldn't get to his limo in New York because the streets were all blocked for Donald Trump.
I go to the French embassy.
No. I'm sorry, I'm president. I'm really sorry. It's just that everything's in frozen right now. There's a motorcade coming right. That's why. I'm sorry.
If you don't see it, let me cross.
Oh, we'll check back in on Emmanuel shortly, but meanwhile, some lefties were also taking their struggle to the streets, simply trying to put up their signs. Ah, yes, that's how you stick it to the man. Whatever, yeah. Signs can be so tricky these days. Well, how about this for tackling oppression and solving the problems of oppressed mankind?
There's a great and a bloody fight around this whole world tonight, in the battle of bombs and shrapnel rain.
Meanwhile, here's some left-wing protesters practicing their new tactic of halting Donald Trump's evil imperialist US immigration agents. It's called the push and shove technique. Karl Marx would be impressed.
I gotta get low. So much strength, but I stayed up. That's the point, right?
That's the stuff of revolution. Perhaps the Venezuelan militia could adopt their techniques. Here they are in action as Donald Trump amusingly posted on Twitter. Meanwhile, let's check back on how Emmanuel Macron is coping with being a mere mortal stuck on the streets of New York. Of course, phone a friend, and who better than Le Donald himself?
How are you? Guess what? I'm waiting in the street because everything is frozen for you.
Oui, we'll check back on Emmanuel a bit later and see how he's getting on. Speaking of Donald, there's been a lot of comment recently about how all those dreadful Republicans have been complaining about lefties celebrating Charlie Kirk's death on social media and getting them fired.
You Trumpers have literally taken a note out of the book of Donald J. Trump saying you're fired. And to that, you know what I have to say? Here it comes. Here it comes, you sons of guns. Great job.
Brilliant. I certainly did not see that one coming. Nice tattoos, by the way. And he isn't alone in his opinions. Here's a quick compilation of some of the many people who, in some but not all cases, thanks to Charlie Kirk, have left the left.
I'll tell you this, Charlie brought me to God. Charlie helped me find Jesus Christ. If it had not been for Charlie on this campus, I would never be here. I would never have found Jesus.
And I told people right there and then, like, I'm not a conservative. I'm a disagreeer on many issues that Charlie talked about. I don't consider myself MAGA, but I really wanted to come.
Not to be outdone on the woke stakes, Jennifer and Ben's ultra-woke daughter, Violet, popped up at the United Nations this week. Not that you would have necessarily recognised her, terrifying the kiddies about long COVID and urging new mask mandates.
Here's what we know about SARS-CoV-2. It is airborne, floating and lingering in the air. One infection can result in disabling damage to almost every cell in the body, from the brain and heart to the nerves and blood vessels. Every subsequent infection increases the risk of long COVID and places people who already have it in greater danger. Here's what we don't know, is what it does to reinfect children.
Yes, trust a Hollywood brat to come up with COVID, the sequel. Her parents must be mightily impressed. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris this week tied herself in knots, trying to distance herself from her own decision not to choose Pete Buttigieg as her running mate last year because he's gay.
To say that he couldn't be on the ticket effectively because he was gay is hard to hear.
No, that's not what I said. That he couldn't be on the ticket because he is gay. My point, as I write in the book, is that I was clear that in 107 days, in one of the most hotly contested elections for President of the United States, against someone like Donald Trump who knows no floor, to be a black woman running for President of the United States and as a vice presidential running mate, a gay man, with the stakes being so high, it made me very sad, but I also realized it would be a real risk.
So, Kamala, you deliberately decided not to choose him because he is gay. Explain that again.
You know, I've been an advocate and an ally of the LGBT community my entire life. So it wasn't about any prejudice on my part.
Ah, yes, Kamala. Isn't that what they all say? Interesting thought, though. Kamala didn't choose the popular Buttigieg because he's gay and instead went for... Good old Tim. Ha, 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 ha. But Kamala's idiocy this week continued unabated.
Right now we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
Ah, yes, Trump the communist dictator. Well, how about emperor in his own mind?
This individual who occupies our White House right now,
the People's House,
has decided that he will be an emperor in his mind.
Talk about hyperbole. Meanwhile, what on earth happened to President Emmanuel Macron? Did he ever finally get to his limousine? Mon Dieu, la vache, zut alors, être les monde gone fou.